Welcome to Be Customer Led, where we'll explore how leading experts in customer and employee experience are navigating organizations through their own journey to be customer led and the actions and behaviors employees and businesses exhibit to get there. And now, your host, Bill Stakos.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Be Customer Led. This is your host, Bill Stakos. I've got a fantastic guest for us this week. Stephen Moy is CEO of Barbarian, which, by the way, is one of the coolest names for a company on the planet. And I got to ask Stephen, where did Barbarian come from? But Barbarian is an agency that is maniacally focused on leveraging technology to reduce friction, data to power new ideas, and creativity to bring new products and services to life for their clients. So Barbarians, why are they called Barbarians? They're fearless, they're inventive, they're ambitious, they're entrepreneurial. And the primary goal is helping their clients transform and disrupt their industries. I'm really excited to have Stephen on the show today because we're talking about customer needs, how they're evolving, and how it's shaping new tech. Stephen, welcome to the show. I'm so fired up to have you with us today.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So let's jump right in, Stephen. And I think you've got a really interesting background. When we first met, we went through that a little bit, and I was just kind of blown away by some of the twists and turns you've taken in your career, and help our listeners understand that journey and how it's led to where you are at Barbarian. And again, thinking about the C-suite, any thoughts on how you think this journey has given you sort of a deeper perspective for your current role as a CEO?
This is a great question. Yeah, so I cannot claim a lot of credit. I think I really thanks to my parents. And also disclaimer, it's not by design, sometimes by luck. So I still remember when I selecting colleges or university, what major, my parents, especially my father, insisted I need to be a doctor, a lawyer, architect. And it's very typical Chinese parent. I wanted to be a fashion designer, but he told me you're going to be poor. And so I selected electrical engineering. So I studied computer hardware design when I was an undergrad at Northeastern University in Boston, Massachusetts. And then, of course, then I started my co-op program. Again, just one of the features of Northeastern co-op program. So I started my career very early. So as a software tester for Apollo computer. For the audience, they are our age or data ourselves. That was no PC when I first started. No PC,
That's
no
right.
Macintosh. And then my journey evolved after I graduated, witnessing the first shift in our economy, which is a global outsourcing. So a lot of hardware design jobs, and probably you guys all know, right? Got shifted to Far East or Middle East. And during that time, I started my first job as a software engineer for the state of Massachusetts. And then subsequently, I joined a private consulting firm for specializing in the DoD. But my specialty back then was doing DOS programming for database data capturing software, on MS-DOS.
DOS, now, man, you're really dating yourself. DOS, holy cow.
Oh my God. So that was the time. So I've always had that curiosity when I started doing more and more coding and learning software engineering. I said, well, I'm a hardware guy, so I need to learn software. So during night, I attended UMass Boston for my Master of Computer Science. And that was when CompuServe, AOL just started. So again, timing is very strange, right? If I do computer science right now, probably I should join, Meta and, the other one. But that time I learned a lot about the, computing theory. I studied Turing machine, imitation game, that whole movie. That is the foundation of computing, how you decipher code. And I had such a good time, I just stayed with the company for the time. But then the internet kicked off, like Netscape and, all the other one came along. So I got a job, and I think in 96, I got a first job to really become a software architect for e-commerce for Reed Elsevier, which is a professional content company. They own LexisNexis. If you're a New Yorker, you watch Law and Order, Jack McCoy, the case law. So I built the first credit card transaction for them in 1997.
Very cool.
And I was part of the think tank. They put it in Cambridge, Massachusetts for a variety of reasons. Of course, MIT was there, so a lot of great talent. I learned so much. And also during that time, the company willing to pay for advanced study. So I asked myself, do I want to do PhD software engineer, or should I do something different? And somehow I picked MBA in marketing because I said, maybe I'm a little lazy. I think PhD takes 7 years, very long time ago. And jokingly, but I always love to, how people run business, how the whole thing works.
Yeah.
So I attended BU, Boston University, for my MBA night. During that time, I was doing software coding. And then Sapient recruited me. I joined Sapient as a director of technology, I think late 1999. And also I graduated probably 1999. So that was the right time. Came out, I was already in one of the, remember Wayback.com, they are the Fast Five.
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
That's right.
Right.
This
So
is pre first big bubble in 2000,
yes.
right? And so,
but of course, I missed the IPO, always timing. I missed the IPO of Sapient. And then I started doing a lot of large scale implementation design e-commerce. So one of the most, mentioned is Nextel.com. If you remember Nextel,
sure. Yeah.
Way back, the technology, makes not as mature today. Today, to be honest with you, the marketing tech and advertising tech very mature. You can just assemble them together. Back then, you have to do a lot of customization on the platform. And we built a whole platform for Nextel for direct to consumer, how they sell to the customer, like phone and rate cards, rate plans. And then we also morphed the platform into B2B, so they can sell it to Bank of America, the corporate world.
Sure.
That was like witnessing the shift. Initially was an all local team, and then we shifted to India. So we all of a sudden, like 200-300 people, depends on the mix. Learn a lot and a lot of fun, right? Building an enterprise grade, like always on e-commerce platform. And then of course, after I graduated my MBA, I said, I always want to try something new. So maybe I should do a startup. Now, again, like early 2000 doing a startup compared to today, maybe I should.
Well, it was a good idea in 2000, right? I mean, it was just shortly thereafter.
The bubble bursted, right?
Yeah.
So I actually had a good time with a very small supply chain consultancy company. I learned a lot. So it gave me an even deeper knowledge on fulfillment and logistics, like drop shipping, inventory management. So I never told anybody I could be a supply chain guy. I don't want people to ask me a lot of that. I know a lot. So 2004 and 2005, the two founders of Sapient, I know them very well, Jerry Greenberg and Stuart Moore, calling back, and out of 4,000 people, they still call me, hey, Moy, we're doing marketing now, come back. I said, what do you mean we're doing marketing? But I did. So Sapient Interactive, the birth of Sapient Interactive. We turned to Sapient, long story short, and they said, hey, Stephen, you're very good with clients. So they make me the client executive for Harris Entertainment, which at that time, Harris Entertainment just acquired Caesar Entertainment, 40 casino. You know how much things we need to integrate. The CRM is still one of the best. And the total reward program, they truly, back then, if you swipe a card, they know who you are, how much you spend, how much you buy. So we did all the unification of the website, the booking engine, you can book like spa, hotel, everything to restaurant, and then the back-end integration. We partner with many agencies, including like Infosys as well. I turned the account to become the number 3 account for Sapient in the world. I got promoted, and then they name me the regional vice president or MD to run New England. We changed our model, regional now. So I started off like, okay, New England, only Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island.
New York,
All right. So I started with one client, which is Liberty Mutual. They were being disrupted. We helped them to do direct to consumer. The disruptors are Progressive and Geico.
Yeah.
Back then, everybody sells through agents, right? You call your agent and get insurance. So we build all the direct-to-consumer, website based. Like that time, iPhone hasn't launched yet, so no phone mobile. But we built all the coding engine, integration to the coding engine for home and auto, basically casualty and property. So that was their disruptor, if you will, the digital transformation. And then I took one client, and then from 2007 to 2013. I was fortunate working with a lot of great people. I shifted my portfolio from one client to basically every client in Massachusetts or in New England, from Staples, CVS, all the insurance companies, Cigna, Travelers, Hartford, National Mutual, And then also all the shoe companies somehow in Massachusetts, we put them on the e-commerce platform. New Balance, Puma, Victoria's my client, Swiss Army, and then Rulala was my client. So a lot of fun, like do a lot of digital, so-called early day e-business. Remember, now digital transformation.
Yeah.
And my portfolio was, I think year to year, 50% growth when I left about 100 million.
Wow.
A couple thousand people. And then somehow I got recruited by Dentsu Isobar. That was the time Dentsu Aegis, if people familiar with the holding company, the number 5 and number 6 merged, become Dentsu Aegis.
Yeah.
I got recruited to be one of the thought leader for Isobar, which is a digital agency for Dentsu. Their setup very interesting because they, through acquisition in 10 years, they bought, I think, 90 companies. So every country, there's a digital agency, they bought them and tell them they're Isobar. So 8,000 people, but what it lacks is a unification of narrative and also go-to-market. So I was fortunate working with the board, sitting at the board with all the CEO, started reframing everything. And my knowledge from saving nitro helps. I, done it once. So, working with them, define the narrative and then went to market. We have a lot of success. We helped McDonald's. My friend was the head of digital. After he left Saving Nitro, went to McDonald's and called me. Hey, Stephen, I need a partner. I need to build a mobile phone for $1 billion people. That's McDonald's. Every day, 1 billion people walking in and out their restaurant in the world. So we did in 6 months. They said, but I want to give you 6 months. I need a prototype so we can show the franchisee. So we built it. It's a lot of fun. Like build it for them. That was one of the key things. I know a lot of executive coach when I was at Sapien. So when I was at ISO, they call me and hey, I know I need an innovation partner. So I make ISO the innovation partner for coach. And of course, unfortunately, nothing launched. But the thinking was how you put a battery into a handbag so you can charge your phone. Because wireless charger wasn't that. But a lot of prototype didn't work out. But things like that. But so I had a lot of fun 4 years, and then I became a spokesperson. They said, "Hey, we need new capabilities. Stephen, you're very good because I help the narrative." So I went out to look for company to buy and to persuade a lot of startup or e-commerce agency to join Isobar. So we ended up acquiring 2 companies, one in London, eCamera, and they have 600 people. They're the biggest Salesforce commerce shop in Europe. And then bought one in China, truly in China, Shanghai, Vietnam, and Hong Kong, called Bucom. They were the white labeling back office partner for a lot of my friends in the industry. So bought both of them in the key market. Basically, my strategy was I cannot compete in US. Let me wipe out everything outside the world. So after we did that, and they named me the CEO, Stephen, you did Saving Nitro before, right? Go merge the 2 companies together. So again, timing, 2015, 16, I went to London, became the CEO of Isobar UK. Yeah. Merging 2 companies together, Isobar, the creative agency, and eCamera, the e-commerce agency. Had a lot of fun, learned a lot, foreign country, all the law different and market different. But of course, Brexit hit, right? Brexit hit, the market really stopped a little bit. And during that time, I got a golden opportunity when I reconnected with Bob Greenberg, the founder of RGA. He asked me to join as the US CTO, Chief Technology Officer, first ever for RGA, because they're looking for someone like me with kind of business mind, understand creativity and tech. And it's not for technology per se, it's how can we make a technology business, because a lot of RGA clients, all the greater leading brands, they are using the marketing tech that they need to innovate on top of it.
Yeah, sure.
Capital investment, including Adobe, Salesforce, the user suspect. So I joined in 2017, came back to US, had a lot of fun. Bob, I love working for Bob. Like Bob just said, go, Stephen, go. Like all of a sudden, I never like to be on stage or do a lot of talking, but like, go. Now I'm the front man. So that's why you see a lot of press. People love to listen, and I did a lot of interview podcast. But at RGA, we're focusing on transformation at speed. It was really unique. It's about like how you create ecosystem and help brand to transform. The focusing on customer centric touch point. But it's 2.5 years fast by, and then let's fast forward to Barbarian. And after Bob, we announced retirement, rightfully so. 72 years, 42 years building RGA. I got recruited by Shell Worldwide, which is a Seoul Korean based holding company. For people, if you know, they are part of the in-house agency for Samsung for 50
Mm-hmm.
years.
Mm-hmm.
And they went IPO. If anybody study in South Korea, they are WPP,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
1.5 billion revenue company, 90 offices, a lot of Samsung business. And they said, hey, Stephen, I need someone like you to reignite Barbarian, because Barbarian actually a 20-year-old brand. I competed with them because they founded in Boston. 2003, anybody remember the Burger King campaign, Subservient Chicken? We partnered with Christian Porter. The website did by Barbarian, my predecessor, right?
No kidding. Interesting.
Yeah, that website was, I think, the best use of viral marketing. You went on the site, you can type in 1,000 move. We really scripted back then 1,000 move for the chicken to death. That was like really put Barbarian on the map.
Yeah.
And Shell acquired them 10 years during that time, 2013. For Samsung, there was no coding platform. Again, technology wasn't enough for building an immersive experience, human size, large screen format for small retail footprint around the world. Because how many refrigerator you can stack, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Very possible. So we actually, my predecessor used C++, one of the older object-oriented language, to create an open source platform so we can code the immersive experience, human side, high definition. You can touch and open the door and you can experience. And we were so fortunate, got Ken Lyons, the first innovation Lyons, and gave it to Barbarian for that innovation because we outsourced.
Yeah.
And of course, fast forward, and they recruited me. I decided to take a chance. I want to be a CEO again, and let me see what I can do with a nimbler organization.
Yeah.
So I joined 2019. Of course, I never planned for COVID. No one did. All right. I created yes, right. I created a three-phase, business plan, and now I'm back on track. Of course, COVID slowed me down a little bit, but it had a lot of fun. Basically, I hope everybody do any Google search or anything, you will see more and more Barbarian, because the journey was I need to pivot the company from a digital marketing, very good at digital marketing, to I want to be the new type of digital transformation agency. I want to design the agency for fast transformation for our client, I call it. So that's why you see a lot of on my website what we call create the future faster for our client, because I've seen and learned from the best. And I do not believe, especially in during the pandemic, no one should be spending 2 years to build a website. The world changing so fast.
That's right. That's right.
Right? Launching a new product. Look at a startup company. You can do it in 3 months. I work with Fortune 100 company. They took years. I mean, the pace of innovation and pace of culture changes so fast, especially with the pandemic accelerated it. So all the consumer behavior shifted already. So I truly believe my client need different type of agency focusing on speed and craft. So I call ourselves a fast transformation for our client, where I can give you a few examples. We did things so fast. It's insane. For example, we were so fortunate. We 2021 got awarded the business for American Express. We are the global social AOR for American Express. Highly competitive. I was so fortunate they selected me because I have a lot of friends in the mix. And one feedback is you guys are very fast. That I think is a new currency. Very fast.
That's
so the first
interesting.
assignment, I'll tell you, Bill. First assignment, after we onboarded, everything signed. First assignment, membership week. If you remember 2021 membership week in June, we only have 6 weeks. We created thousands of pieces of content every day, different activation on Instagram, Facebook, like with Peloton, with David Chen restaurant, on public on stage, and even with New York and or nowhere, Nyon, the fashion designer, we launched an exclusive apparel line with American Express, and also the follower, the fan base, within weeks, right? Launching on the last day, which was my birthday, June 18th, launch it, sold out in minutes. They never done anything like that before, American Express, right? Historically, or Jerry Seinfeld or other celebrity. But talk about moving in 6 weeks.
That's incredible.
So that's what we are focusing on. And also I applauded American Express. So many people focusing on acquiring new customer. How about your existing customer, right? That's the first initiative.
Yeah. No. I remember that campaign, actually. I've been a longtime customer. It's incredible. And I've actually worked for American Express. So yes, kudos to them for moving quickly, but also to you guys in the agency for working with them so quickly and motivating and moving them, because not a lot gets done in 6 weeks at Amex. No offense to them. They're a great company in a lot of ways, but all at the size of that organization, 6 weeks is like lightning
Right.
speed, right?
Of course, right? I mean, we should applaud, right? Bigger organization, they innovate at their own pace, right?
Sure.
Of course, you see the startup can move faster, but also you look at the Fortune, I would say the more household brand versus the startup brand, they all have advantages and also disadvantages to your
Sure.
point, right? Amex, a household brand, right? Everybody knows that. The startup still building a brand. The brand loyalty and equity takes time to build. So they all both have advantages, disadvantages. That's what makes it so interesting now, the world, right? At least the world I'm living in.
Yeah.
How you make something more memorable, remarkable, but also profitable for your client. Doesn't matter what size they are. I think those are the key ethos that we're helping. At least I told my team this is how we're going to work with our client. So a lot of that. So that's why, sorry, it took a little bit while, but I would always say I got a lot of interview reporter ask me, how you know technology is going to be impacting advertising? No, I did not know that. It just happened. Follow the flow journey. But I have the same fortune that because I truly understand technology, give me an edge a little bit.
That's awesome.
In the space we're working with.
Let's talk a little bit about the changing and evolving needs of consumers, right? I mean, everyone who's listening to this, you, me included, we're experiencing brands in new and different ways, largely because, let's just say, I mean, the pandemic has really changed a lot, has certainly expedited that change, right? It really has put fuel behind that change to just move much more quickly. But what are you seeing in terms of major trends in those changes and the needs, and even not mention clients, of course, but what are you hearing from clients in terms of like where they want to be moving?
Great question. I will answer you in a few categories or territory. I see. First of all, we did a lot of consumer research focusing during pandemic, throughout pandemic, and we're still in the pandemic. Did you know when pandemic hit us 2020, the number one grocery item, guess what people buy? Not toilet paper, I tell you.
Really? Because it felt like it was
number two. That was number two. Toilet paper, number two.
Paper towels?
No, baking mix.
Baking mix.
Everyone
started baking.
Yes. So I was equally shocked. But also, I started cooking more. I bought an air fryer. So if you're witnessing the changes in consumer behavior, I would imagine people got still stuck at home or stay at home.
Sure.
The first touch point battlefield, first mile of any communication, home. Right? You look at our home setup. So I would say a couple of behaviors shifted. First of all, I think people, because so lack of interaction, they're willing to experiment. Like baking, cooking, all right? This is someone posting. So the consumer behavior shifted a lot. It's like they would love to try new things. So that's why you see a lot of culturally relevant movement driven by that. So I would say first trend I see, social commerce here to stay. The convergence between communication and commerce. I mean, it's already happening in China, like Alibaba every day, like every second.
That's been for years now.
For years. And we were not ready, US, because we have a different cultural, acceptance. I remember when you talk to anybody before COVID, they would say, "Oh, that's sold out. No one should be like merchandising product like QVC on social platforms." We're not saying that, but you witnessing during COVID, we are so lack of everything is so digital at home, multi-touch point. The convergence, meaning when I see it, I want to buy it. And especially our demographic, our population, right? Roughly say half of our population is Gen Z, younger demographic. They are the one, first of all, you see. So social commerce is a permanent shift, meaning when I see it, I want to buy it. And so you see a lot of ecosystem planning changes for our client, or how you leverage partner platform. If the first touch point, Instagram and TikTok, don't forget 2 years ago, 3 years ago, there was no TikTok. Now TikTok. There's overly from usage over defeated Instagram already from traffic.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Those two dominant. If that's the audience you're reaching, again, it depends on your audience. Those, when you see the brand, we are trained right now only 8 seconds, right? You need to catch my attention, I'll buy you. So you think about content creation, ecosystem planning. We see a lot of permanent shift. Like we see a lot of more microservices or headless architecture, if you will. How you can integrate. Even the platform partner, they started opening up more APIs and So that you see the new ecosystem shifted, you have to be prepared. At least today, the entry point will be digital and social first if you target a younger audience. I think second trend, I would say, another trend is very important. It is a boardroom conversation with all my clients now, direct to consumer. It's a mindset and a business strategy at the boardroom level. I'm not suggesting any brand to just forget off retail product, don't sell it. No, that's part of the ecosystem. But this is the time during COVID now, during today, cookieless world, all of a sudden everything, you never get your customer data because all your partner own the customer data.
That's right.
So this is the time, not only important to get your first party customer data through direct to consumer. I truly believe, in addition to your ecosystem of partner retailer, you need to have a direct conversation with your partner. So we see tremendous push on direct to consumer. Like how you launch a product and how you drive the traffic to your own ecosystem or partner ecosystem. That's what I'm saying, is not replacing a lot boardroom conversation. That's why you see a lot of new product and services innovation. You see a lot of new marketing more focusing on digital first. Right? So it's permanent, totally permanent. Especially in the world, you need to capture more data. I think that you see, that's why you see a huge investment, capital investment in making customer data platform, all kinds of data. But I would argue you will see more and more advisory consulting, like what data you should get, right?
Yeah, because not all data is the same. Not all data is usable.
Exactly.
Right?
What data will drive a couple of things, not only creating long-lasting customer relationship loyalty. How about new business R&D? Historically, you do focus group, right? Now you have more data, capture more behavioral data, so it can help you to think through, they are liking this product or this service. Maybe that's some complementary. So I would say this is a new business R&D in addition to
absolutely, totally agree.
And then the last thing, latest, I will touch on. Every client asks me about NFT and Metaverse. So I told them, I like simplicity, right? Because it's too complicated. We all deserve a little bit more simplicity. So I call this new omniverse. I said, guys, right? It's nothing new, in my opinion. We already have omni-channel mindset, right? You have online, offline. The third dimension is permanent now. You look at all the capital investment. All the customer journey now, including me, we go in and out, online, offline, metaverse. Because we like, right? We are doing this.
Yeah.
Right. I never will buy a jean without trying it on. So I will go to the store to try the jean on. It's very traditional of me. Maybe I go to the metaverse, buy one pair physically and buy one pair for my avatar.
Yeah.
That's a new world order.
That's absolutely right.
So it's not replacing. A lot of people are debating, we need to double down on that. They may not do. No, we truly need to understand human behavior. The way we work, basically the customer journey, again, being expanded or deconstructed, expanded. Now, multi-dimensional, like multiverse, right? Online, offline, metaverse. That's how your customer will engage you because they go in and out. It's not one or the other, never go away. I think this is a very exciting time, including metaverse in the thinking. So a lot of time is now the more progressive client, big or small, they all like, how does that fit? Right, we're already doing social digital first, so that's why we're working with a lot of my clients. You will see some of the new product hopefully in a few launch in a few months is cutting in and out. I truly believe that's how you should think about it. It's no different than omni-channel, but now we're omniverse, right?
I love the analogy, Stephen. I haven't really thought about it that way, but it absolutely makes sense. I mean, you're just introducing another platform into the mix. It could be call center, it could be your iPhone, it could be whatever it is. You're just introducing another way to engage with the brand in different ways. Absolutely. In ways, frankly, that we probably aren't even thinking yet. There's this aspect of digital convenience that the metaverse or omniverse, to use your term, really is able to deliver in a completely different way, as well as create personalization at scale through the journey, right? And a lot of what you were talking about, that direct to consumer is really about that. It's a topic that so many companies are talking about right now. Whether you're retail, financial services, auto, really doesn't matter. To your point, a lot of organizations talking about. What's your take on this, and where are you seeing this happen most right now? Are there specific verticals or customer types where, or maybe cohorts? Is it more in that sort of Gen Z space? Because I'm a Gen Xer and I'm already thinking about this and I'm already thinking about the benefits. But like, where are you seeing a lot of this being driven from?
Yeah, a lot of course, a lot of ecosystem. The stronger the ecosystem, you can do a lot of, personalization. Like the contracts from China to us. Think about it, right? Let me touch on that. The top 8 tech company leading the world right now, right? So 3 in China: Baidu, Tencent, Alibaba. I mean, their setup. There's a lot to learn. Their setup, they're more closed system, right? They own everything, right? Data privacy may not be a concern, but somehow it created a digital convenience for the world. I mean, if you ever visit China now, cashless, everything is QR code,
I
WeChat
know.
based. Even the street beggar, they have QR
They're,
code for
yeah, I know. It's
like crazy.
they're literally 5-7 years ahead of us in the US.
Absolutely,
I mean, easily.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Because of the digital convenience, or sometimes I think I think we soon will get to the pivotal point for US too. I value convenience. I don't mind sharing some data. Some people will
For
never do,
sure. For
right?
sure.
So I think it's a customer choice by then.
Hmm.
But if you look at how they do it, they created the whole digital ecosystem, cashless, so advanced, right? E-commerce, live streaming, everything, like everything around the world. So that's how. So in the US, I would say, like, of course, you look at our top 5, 6, right? Amazon, Netflix,
Yeah.
the usual suspect. Like Netflix added another 100 million subscribers during COVID. Think about it, and all the recommendation is not by choice, by your
Yeah.
choice.
Yeah.
It's based
Yeah.
on your clicks and
Yeah.
watch.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's all. They have so many titles. I guarantee you, if you log in differently, you will see a completely different set.
Completely different. Yeah. No, no,
Right?
no.
They based on
That's true. That's absolutely true.
right? And of course, Amazon, right? They know what you need. They will recommend, right? Like they do have technology. I remember did some research. They do automatic replenishment at one point. They could, but they never launch it because of the creepiness of it, right? They know how much toilet paper you've been using,
Oh, I
and
know
then
that.
they will recommend.
I mean, dog food just came up, and I'm like, I actually need
Exactly.
dog food, but dog food came up. Either they're listening through Alexa and they're like, hey, go sell Bill some more dog food, or they're figuring out in other ways.
So a lot of brand needs to learn. So the reason they're so advanced is the ecosystem they have, and also the membership data, the customer data they have, the Prime. So I see a lot of brands right now try to build their ecosystem. A lot of time right now they have their own little data because they build for not for this time. The capital investment is so high, and they borrow a lot of ecosystem like Amazon for retail outlet and TikTok and Instagram. I think the next battlefield is ecosystem. Whoever the smart one will borrow and build or learn from it, because at the end of the day, it's not about the technology itself. It's the customer data.
That's
You
right.
need the customer data. You need to have a direct conversation with the customer, and then you can deliver true personalization for them. So I see a lot of activity talk about how to create partnership with the big guys, right, or the social platform, but also creating their own, how to using new digital product and services to attract the customer back to your own ecosystem so you can capture the customer data. So I would say personalization at scale will come very soon. But I think first battlefield, ecosystem, and get your customer data.
Yeah.
I was fortunate, highlight because we're still staying at home. I started working with Roku a bit during pandemic. Roku, they also
Yeah,
they added
glasses.
10 million subscribers. Roku, the streaming
Oh,
platform.
Roku. I'm thinking about the glass company, the new eyeglass company. They compete with Warby. Roku,
Oh,
maybe?
no, yeah. So it's
Roku.
Roku, the streaming
Television.
service.
Yeah.
The Gen Z, right? Remember, no one watch primetime broadcast TV.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, like the medium age. I fell out my chair when I learned to study from Roku streaming. 55 primetime TV.
Wow.
But during pandemic, shifted again. The younger generation, they will stream. That's why you see Disney Plus, all the streaming platform making a lot of money because
Yeah, they're
you got
adding a lot of
nothing to
users.
do, stuck at home. I just don't want to watch podcast TV. So I see a new ignition about true omni-channel. Remember at one point you got second screen, you watch online and then
Yeah.
all coming back. So
Yeah.
again, but not that's a one touch point. Again, I think the company, any brand should focusing on understand the new customer journey, including metaverse. At what point, what is the micro moment you want to engage your customer? If you're competing the first mile at home, right? You got connected TV, I have Apple TV streaming, all the other one. I got Alexa on my home. Don't forget CES, every CES, even my Samsung introduced, 5 robots. Think about it. You got robot can pour you wine. You got robot can
Yep.
measure your temperature. All are digital enabled touch point
Mm-hmm.
for busy family, including us. Whoever can figure out the orchestrated the best customer experience, I think there will be a moment of shift, new household brand we defined, right? At that point, right? You try to, because it's about convenient. And then, you can, if you get the right data and then you can connect multiple channels together, you
Mm-hmm.
really can do more personalized content and eventually, I think, one-to-one marketing. I was last bit. I was at H. I got invited to at H just recently in New
Mm-hmm.
York. It was still under the pandemic. Surprisingly, not a lot of brands, but I actually saw a lot of startup. They already talking about metaverse, doing
Mm-hmm.
one-to-one targeting, like Minority Report,
Yeah. Yeah.
targeting personalized in the metaverse to your avatar. I was like, wow.
Yeah. It's interesting, the traditional. I was thinking about this the other day because I was having a conversation with someone around journey orchestration, real time, changing the journey real time for the customer, et cetera. And I was like, this is going to be the death of the persona, right? Like, how many designers use personas to design, right? Like, that's going to be all gone.
Oh
It's going
God.
to absolutely be one-to-one journey orchestration, journey development, and that personalization at scale. Like, no one's going to design for the persona anymore.
You're totally correct. And also should be more, I would say, not static, more dynamic,
Mm-hmm.
right? Right. Like remember the previous world when we do persona, customer journey, and then
Yeah.
digital strategy, it took
Yeah.
months, right? You said, and then you launch a program 2 years. That time cycle being collapsed because you have more data now, right? You
Mm-hmm.
have more data. So the persona should be enhanced if we're still using that methodology
Yep.
should be enhanced with more dynamic data because it changes into the 3 dimension we talk about. So I do agree, maybe some archetype or whatever. So to your point, that whole discipline will need to we
Fundamentally
change.
change. Yeah,
I
absolutely.
remember Yale University recently. I think Yale, yeah, recently reached out to me like they have special. I'm sure many universities has that. They have now they call economic behavior, human
Yep.
economic behavior,
Yeah.
like how you modify or learn from human behavior and progressively suggestingly
Yeah.
morph it. Just like kind of like diet, right? It's not a one-time thing. You have to somehow help me getting along. There's a lot of new thinking, even
Yeah.
academia, and also I'm sure like everybody have
Yeah.
an R&D lab like with that much data of Amazon. I'm sure they have a lot of thinking around it.
Stephen, when you think about the new sort of digital frontier, a couple of years out, what are you most excited about? I mean, you're thinking about this stuff all the time, but like, what are you like? I can't wait for this to be really ubiquitous.
Oh, so many, so many thinking. So let's talk about the omniverse, right? I think
Yeah.
the first wave and then the future, I would see a lot of augmented reality, maybe hologram.
Mm.
We would never leave the physical world, like that whole dimension, and I also cannot wait to see how the tech giant, integrate the gaming platform.
Hmm.
So you know
Hmm.
why Microsoft buying Activision,
Sure. Oh,
right?
absolutely. It's
Like
clear.
the teenager, the first touch point, not TikTok or Instagram, Fortnite, right? They meet friends there,
Yep.
right? That's a new social society, social system. So I
Yep.
cannot wait to see truly multi-dimensional like interface. We like kind of like Blade Runner a little bit and
Yeah.
Matrix, right? Like kind of that is. I think that give because sometimes with COVID, we focusing also not only technological impact to human behavior, also mental wellness.
Yeah.
So I totally understand. We all need some escape, right? So I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
the omniverse, we will see more capital investment. But I truly believe that's another way of thinking about NFT, at least my humble opinion.
Mm.
A lot of NFT today is about digital rights management. I mean, like authenticity of that
Yeah.
piece of
Yeah. Yeah.
art,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And also connecting the creator to the end user directly. You
Hmm.
don't need an intermediary. How about thinking about this? This is my thinking. How about I have my own identity to authenticate me? Now become the new universal ID. I can cut in and out digital, online, and metaverse. Think about the new CRM we can do.
Hmm.
Truly, the single truth, right? The one, right? So
Yeah.
I think that's a new way of that's why I would believe brand will start issuing their own token. So they know if I'm like L'Oreal would give me a token. It's the same Stephen Moy going in and out those dimensions.
Yeah, that's right.
Think about that. Like all of a sudden, truly, I think personalization at scale, I think that could be a new application of NFT, right? If it's a non-fungible, backed by blockchain technology, you can cut in and out. That's what the whole beautiful thing about blockchain, right? So I think that's a new loyalty personalization with that right application of NFT. And then we can truly do universal ID. And then I think that's the new world order, because I can go to Disney just carrying my digital token. I don't really need to wear a bracelet.
Yeah.
I hate carrying wallet right now. I'm only down to two cards, like Apple Card and
Same
Amazon.
here, yeah.
No cash. So what if you don't even have to carry that, right? You go
That's
in,
right.
you walk through, I walk right out truly, right? Because somehow the token with me, I walk out from CVS, they know, right? Because it should be your identity going forward. I think that could be interesting, right? All of a sudden you show ID. Think about you don't have to do passport anymore, right? You can have all your COVID if people favor. I'm fully vaccinated. Maybe like instead of I keep pulling up my card like, every time. So I think that's exciting. I think that exciting. Think about healthcare too. Right? How many people? Well, again, there's just so much application. Again, I was half jokingly when my staff, even dating, $1 billion, right? eHarmony match. You stop all the catfishing. You stop all that, right? Solve a lot of problems at once. So that one thing. I would say second territory, if you don't mind me saying that.
Yeah, of course.
I truly believe you see more and more true implementation of DEI. I truly talk about diversity, inclusion, and equality. I was so saddened during the pandemic, learning 40% of U.S. population and roughly 40% in the world are single parent. Nothing wrong with that, and also, but 40% of them, they are out of our population. U.S. 40% are hourly wager. I didn't know that. And then they don't have internet access. The only internet access through the parent phone. So when the government decided to send the kid back to school with no daycare, how can they do remote learning?
That's right.
Right. So I see a lot of opportunity, the more progressive brand could help. I truly believe like DI is a new standard for any innovation. Like you have to do it, right? And inclusion is not more than tokenization, more like you really have to have shared voice, right? Different religion, different race, different belief, different background. That you can design new product and services for all people. Right? I truly believe that. Like, why are we not giving 5G away for free? Right?
Yeah, totally agree.
Right? It's available for banking. Like, you know how much investment before COVID, I actually started working with like the underprivileged crowd, a lot of retail, try to digitize food stamp. Right. So I think that's a lot of innovation. I will encourage a lot of leading brands if they can do true digital innovation and transformation. Not you should focus on the digital native given, right? That's your bread and butter, right? But how about the underprivileged, not digital native? Right? Because when we define digital native, you can afford $1,000 phone, pretty educated, right? In the world, I think that should be more innovation for all access, all people, all level. I really believe, hopefully, in 5 to 10 years, we should be the leading country to show the world how we do it.
I love that. Love that. Stephen, this has been a really inspirational show for me. Thank you for coming on. I'm curious, where do you go for your inspiration, Stephen?
Fortunately, I have a few people really inspire me. Of course, first my parents, no longer with me, but I truly believe I have a philosophy. You have to sometimes maybe a little harsh, but you have to destroy the old and to create the new. I still remember they dropped everything. I was born in Hong Kong, but they decided for the children future, including me, let's move to US. So they drop everything, move there, no friends. We have family here. But my father learned to be a chef. He wasn't a chef. That's selflessness. And also the way I'm looking at it is, oh, wow, you have to really, sometimes you want to make a step change or even personal transformation, you have to move forward, right? So that's first thing. I really enjoy working for Bob Greenberg, the founder of the LGA. He told me, Stephen, we never done. I said, what do you mean? Stephen, I'm always building an 80% company. We never done. so refreshing when I heard
Oh
about it,
man, yeah.
right? Because being a CEO, I've been 2 times CEO, 5 years, 6 years already. There's no book, Bill, to teach you to be a better CEO. No MBA or doctorate
Yeah.
teaching
Yeah.
you. And I'm not alone a CEO, a better leader. And that mindset, you never done, really. I mean, right? How refreshing when you think about it. Yeah, you never
Oh,
done.
always be learning, always be tinkering,
Right.
always be sort of testing, learning, evolving, right? Iterating.
Yeah, absolutely. That really struck, deep.
Mm,
So that's why this time at Barbarian I was truly like listening more because like
mm,
you should have no ego. Your people know more better
sure.
than you.
Yeah.
You never done. So I'm always trying new things. And good news is in a smaller agency that I'm the CEO, right, I can try new thing. Let's launch a new services. Oh, no one liking it. Let's launch a new one. You know, the world is dynamic, right? So listen to your client. Why are they not
Yeah.
buying?
Yeah.
Right? You don't have to
Yeah.
force it because a lot of time digital transformation for our client, they have their own pace, as I say, right? The big company, they move a little bit different. Small company, they have limited budget, but they move faster.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the joy, become a partner to really create the future faster for them. Doesn't matter what budget and what brand you have.
Yeah.
I enjoy that. I enjoy that.
Very cool. Stephen, thanks so much for coming on the show. This has been such a fun conversation. I've been
Oh, thank you.
laughing a ton, learning a ton. Just really thank you very much for the gift of your time and coming on. It's great to meet
No,
you. Good to see you again. And, hopefully I'm looking forward to seeing Barbarian successes. I'll be looking out for you guys. And hopefully if I'm ever back up in New York and you got a little spare time, I'd love to buy you a beer or coffee or whatever your beverage
let's
choice
do
is.
it. No, thank you, Bill. We need to do it again.
Yeah, sounds
Anytime,
good.
let me know. I have a lot of fun. Thank you for listening and, learn a little bit my personal journey and
Loved
professional
it.
journey.
Loved every minute of it. All right, everybody. Great show. We're out. Talk to you soon,
Thanks
everyone.
for listening to Be Customer Led with Bill Stakos. We are grateful to our audience for the gift of their time. Be sure to visit us at becustomerled.com for more episodes. Leave us feedback on how we're doing or tell us what you want to hear more about. Until next time, we're out.